Alright, so this is not a pretty video, it's a rant. If you guys know, I talked about how I wanted to go more in detail of the current events that are plaguing my soul right now because of narcissistic individuals, gaslighting, behaviorisms, and the fuckery of it all, okay? First and foremost, you guys know I'm always going to be an intuitive energy reader. For those that think that I'm doing this for validation, this is not what it is, okay? This is literally simply me sharing my experience. And hey, if you're on that same journey, if you can resonate, I would like a fellow sister or brother to I get it. I really do. Um, You don't have to feel bad for me. You don't have to validate me, nothing of this nature. This is just me sharing. I need to share it because I realized that, you know what? This is what I have right now. It's sad, but it is what it is. I only have me and my divine masculine, but to be quite honest, if my divine masculine is not in the same equation and don't share the same skin color as me, it's or upbringing. Uh, there is a difference in experience, okay? Slight different. Now, I've had videos that I talked about narcissistic individuals as insight for you guys, as you guys know. And then at some point, I feel like I've shared a little bit about my own life on my personal YouTube, okay? Briefly, but very deep. But this is not me to I'm not doing this for you guys to kind of go and check out that video. This is not like a promo thing. None of that, okay? I'm gonna go right into it. So, um, a few days ago, or keep first of all, keep in mind that my parents, they are divorced, and they, to be quite honest, they are karmic people that got together, and they have me and my siblings, okay? Some of the siblings are not by blood, but they are going to be included in this so-called video as well because it's all included, okay? Now, as somebody that's spiritually inclined, even though I know all of this in terms of the retrograde, people coming in and causing chaos, personally for me, the retrograde is always in my favor. Okay, that's like a season of prosperity for me. It tends to be the opposite, but for a lot of people, for me, I strive more in the retrograde, and I feel like it has to do with my transit. If you know, you know. So the only thing I can blame this on the after effect of the solar eclipse. It is a new moon. If I'm gonna be spiritual about it, but if we're gonna base it on logic and mental health, because narcissism is a mental illness, okay? This is what it is. It's that simple. Now, my spirit guest has already told me what it is, and also family members, but you have this hope as an empath, as somebody that is on the receiving end of narcissism, to kind of just hope, okay? There's no such thing as hope when it comes to narcissistic individuals. It doesn't matter if it's your brother, mother, father, sibling, past lover, whomever, okay? Um, and as you guys know, I'm also consciously aware of things that take place spiritually, such as magic. If it This is not the case, because if it was, I know how to eliminate that. As somebody that actually does this for a living, so the only final outcome is this: it's mental instabilities. Okay, now I am on the verge of going into new chapters in my life. As you guys have known, I've shared about experiences with me seeking a quote unquote 3D job. Um, kind of not staying in the same place with my family because that's what I'm also doing. Um, a lot of the stagnation and things not prospering in life has to do with my environment. Some might call it magic. I call it mental instability. Okay. Um, it was time. It was my season to move forward, and I've taken affirmative action. Tell me that one day I feel like, you know what? It is a new month. Let me share. And I share not too much because a lot of things that I've kind of like hold back. But then one day I felt the need to just overshare, right? And in detail because somebody that doesn't share start to sharing, there's a shift. I did this. I'm thinking it's fine. I got somewhat good feedback about my new chapter, and a lot of it is kind of based on similar experience. So initially, I just wanted to get like advice, on what to do. Um, because logically, if they have been through something similar, the only right thing to do is ask, right? You can never go wrong. I did. Me asking about my new chapters and how to go about different ways. All of a sudden, they were in their feelings. They were happy in a way because they don't have to put in a support now. I'm like off their. It's interesting because they never really supported me like that unless I actually helped. But I remember my mom at some point said that if I'm going to turn you leave, they said that the government has responsibility for me, okay? And they're the one that's supposed to take care of me. And I was like, okay, cool. That initially, me sharing my, life goals, I'm thinking, okay, I don't really have to disclose anything because she don't have the responsibility, okay? I don't know about my day. She wanted to know the ins and outs of how things were going. And I'm like, why am I sharing anything if you're not even, number one, you don't have responsibility, but you also happily, gladly said that I'm off your hands. Rightfully so, okay? Even as your daughter. We, get into the language barrier of things, even though it was clear in English what was said. Um, Heck, even in my mom's native language as well, just in case. A couple of days go on, I kind of like brushed it over because she apologized. And fun fact, she apologized because she took offense because I said that why do I need to disclose anything if you don't have responsibility and it has something to do with you? And she then reverted to say that, oh, I didn't mean it like that. When I, you know, do something or go into a new chapter in my life, I explain to your Swedish grandma about my endeavors and try to make me feel, again, gaslighting, saying that because she knows I'm inadvertently close to her, I don't know how, but language, she's thinking, her thought process was like, we're like the same. Knowing darn well there's some correlation there. Anyways, she apologized because I hit a nerve when I said that there's no link there. Why she doesn't need to know anything. Again, if she's only criticizing and being negative, but as it was stated, she has no responsibility. There is no need to know basis on her end, right? We digress. We continue. And I openly share about this is going on here and I'm applying jobs there and such and such. And I'm actually really close to moving. Their second opinion was a lot of like backlash and oh my god, no, that apartment is too small. I don't like this neighborhood. It has to have this. Um, things of that nature. That job is not good, or how much are they paying, as if it was all for her. Okay, I'm thinking, maybe this is just like old age talking. Which, if you look at it deeply, it's not, because she's been this way since forever, my teenage years, okay, since I could get a job. I always enter, like, directly, sorry guys, directly. I'm not trying to like make this extra, but I always directly tell her to like, I like to keep my privacy private, okay? Um, because the last time I shared something with her, she blew it out of proportion. She also likes to talk about me behind the scenes to other people. She does this with a lot of people. She has gotten backlash from my twin, me too as well. But it always ends out in an argument. This time I calmly said that I wanted to be like private, because everything that is said now is still under construction. She's like, oh, I get it. I'm not gonna tell anyone and so on. Tell me, as of today, okay, this is the course of like a few weeks, like back to back, because I've been reporting basically to my mom. And she goes on. Also, mind you, she just had surgery, so she's asked if from a cousin of mine how the surgery is going on. Well, she actually called my cousin to tell them that she got surgery, because she likes to inform everybody every step of the way when it comes to her life. Okay, um, by default, and that's my mom thing. I am more of a private person. Tell me how all of a sudden my mom starts to talk about me, knowing inadvertently I said, if my things are under construction, my life, I like to keep it private until things are finalized. That whole argument we had today, it made me miss out on an apartment. And it was this apartment that she was talking about. I'm not saying that um, there was negativity behind it. Actually, I am, because the time we were arguing was the time I was supposed to deliver this freaking paper. Hey, maybe it's on me, but it's really hard when you're trying to make somebody understand you and they're just shitting on your face. Like, it really doesn't make sense. I told mom, I literally woke up from my bed hearing her talking about me and my endeavors and so on and so on. And then she's trying to talk about how the conversation didn't turn out well, okay, about me. Because she could just say that, yeah, I am moving, or I am studying, or I am having a new, like, she could just simply be like, yeah, she's doing this and that's final. She goes into explicit detail about my life to this cousin that doesn't even call me on a regular, okay, or talk to me. I'm thinking here, what the fuck is this? I wake up from my sleep from this very loud, and I'm thinking, please, this cannot be it. So I addressed it to my mom and say that, like, as she's talking, please, can you not like disclose things from my life? You know how I feel about this. And then she goes on to say that, I got a message, sorry guys. She goes on to say, oh, okay, and never mind to me. And then she felt kind of saddened because my cousin on the other end was kind of like, oh, it's fine, it's cool, right? Then when they finished the conversation, oh no, mom also gaslighted and said that, oh, Brenda, she would like you to contact her and she can tell you more about this. Knowing damn well this person already has my number and doing so, but like, never mind, okay? After their conversation, she's like, I don't believe how you could like tell me off while we were talking. That was not a nice thing to do. They're very saddened right now because of this. And I'm like, You're the one that is talking about something I explicitly asked you to have respected my boundaries to not do. And I'm supposed to worry about somebody that's hearing something I said don't do. So you worry about their emotions more than me? Okay, fine. They're like, no, but like, you know, they're asking about my hand and so on, and then we went on to talk about you. I was like, I understand, but I am not you. Like, am I you? Like, did they say, like, did they call and said asking for me? Number one, if they were calling for me, they could have just, can I talk to Brenda? Okay, can I talk to her? Or even call my phone. And then she said, well, would you have picked it up if they called you? That wasn't the case, but that was backlash number one, because I'm supposed to like feel defeated, right? Or feel guilty. She realized the fact that, again, I wasn't her, so they had no business knowing this. But the fact that she was more concerned about the other party's feelings, other than the fact that she broke a promise to me, and like, I'm not your own, like your firstborn. I'm thinking here, like, this person is a foster sibling to me, my cousin in real life. And I'm thinking here, their feelings are more important. It's because this cousin never seen my mom in true authenticity when she's like this, okay? I'm one of the siblings that lived with my mom the longest, okay? And I'm thinking here, if they only knew, right? She goes on, my mom, to say that, well, because in her head, at least two of the 100 members of my family on my mom's side, at least this cousin and another one haven't really treated me badly, okay? Or hurt me in any way. Now, my mom talking shit about me is not really, it's offensive, but it's not hurt in such a way whereas it's affecting my soul, okay? There are just a course of things that happens when you're with narcissistic individuals where it's like over time you become numb to it, okay? My mom continues to say that this cousin and one of the elders in the family, they're so good. So, and they brought in the elder's name for me to again feel guilty, because now all of a sudden she goes on in defense mode and say that, well, I'm not going to say anything of your nature again to anyone, especially these two. I'm like, but this is what I've been telling you all this time. Like, what is the issue? And then she goes on to say that, well, I mean, I cannot believe you're like this. I'm your mother. I'm your mother. I'm like, but I just asked you to not do anything and you just broke a promise. How is this mothering? How is this a good relationship? And then she's like, oh my God, I cannot believe you said that we don't have a good relationship. But how is this a good relationship? You think, and she thought, because I was sharing something and there was peace in the home, right? Everything is okay. As long as I'm smiling, everything is Gucci, is okay. I quote, if I'm sharing anything or even happy, even has nothing to do with her, I'm okay. If she insulted me, if we had argument, as long as I'm happy and smiling the day after, everything is okay. No, I am just trying to manage so I don't go into some fucking depression because of this. Like, it's insane. And then she goes on to say, twist it all out because she realized I was right. She said that, how can you see that we are not in a good relationship? I'm so appalled. I am stunted. And oh my God, you have to like not say those things. I'm a mother or I'm your mother. And I said that we just had an argument, literally, like yesterday, about you offending me. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm gonna keep this short. As so you guys know, I was explaining my personal goals in my life, right? She goes on to say, oh, sorry, I explained my goals, and she goes on to say, out of nowhere, why your skin so dark? It has nothing to do with the conversation. It's out of nowhere. keep in mind, she saw me the day before every day because I freaking live in the house. My dad came to visit. She didn't say anything. All of a sudden, as I am literally standing in front of her, which is not the first time, I did it yesterday, the day before, my skin is dark. No, sorry, my face is dark. And I'm like, I'm appalled by that. I was like, what do you mean? My skin is fine. And she then turns her face. No apology, no nothing. No, oh, it was a misunderstanding. And I'm thinking, okay. And then, as a dummy, but maybe it was the right thing to do, I continued to explain my endeavors because that's what I wanted to focus about because I'm not a kid, any longer. I'm thinking, okay, maybe she will realize tomorrow or later on that, okay, what she did was kind of like uncalled for. Because she said it in such a demeaning way, whereas, like, if somebody were to comment on your appearance, you would take offense. It wasn't like, um, where it's a normal thing where you get can joke or whatever. It's quite demeaning. On top of that, the reason why I feel like I um, acted this way and reacted this way was I feel like it was more so the fact that my mom is somebody that has admittedly confessed as of last year that she was bleaching for the entirety of her life for a long time. And she only confessed last year that she did this, and she should have never. Okay, keep in mind, over the course when we asked her, when at least me, when I was in my teens, where her skin is so light, different from ours, he said that when you're older, you grow lighter. That might have some science to it, but the way she changed in color, knowing darn well we could smell those intense bleaching creams that can cause cancer. Okay, I'm thinking here, wow, this woman is full of shit. She really is. And I think I took offense when she said that compliment. Why my skin is so, oh no, why my face is so dark. Mind you, I would have actually accepted this if I was out in the sun, because I actually do like going outside and so on. She didn't even say your cheekbones or whatever because she tried to justify this the day after. Again, with no apology, that what I meant was like your cheekbones or your cheeks. Why didn't you clarify that? You firmly said why your face is so dark, and I continue my conversation. And I'm thinking you should have said something. I asked you the day after about like, why didn't you read my message, or why didn't you apologize? And she's like, apologize for what? I'm like, but you offended me. And she's like, how? Why are you saying things like why your face is so dark? Knowing darn well you had bleaching creams on your table, like the day the same day. So like, it makes no sense to me. And then she was like, okay. And I said something stupid again because in our family, you can get paid off. I'm like, if you're gonna fund me, you might as well pay me money. And she's like, you know what? She didn't even say sorry. She's like, I give you the money instead. Okay. Um, moving on to today. Okay. As my cousin is so saddened, according to my mom, because I cut off their little conversation about my life. Okay. Knowingly, he called for her situation, or she called him about her situation, right? I'm thinking here, maybe today is today. The only reason why she is in her emotions because of how my cousin reacted. And then she goes on to say that me talking about your skin color and so on, well, that was kind of just like if you had pimples, and I would be like, oh my God. I'm like, but pimples are not, it's a skin condition. I am dark skinned. My face being dark is not a skin condition, you know? And if it was that critical, she would have said something. And it was just so weird. No real. Also, in parentheses, my dad, according to my mom, when we were born, she said that your dad denied you guys in court because you were black. He didn't want black kids. Like, all of this is fucking trauma. For her to kind of just be like, oh, it's not really that deep. Even today, she's acting like that's not even that deep. She started on comparing her situations where it's like, if you were to ask me if I had pimples, or I had a surgery, my skin got a little bit dark, I'm like, you had surgery. Pimples is a skin condition. I also have scars on my leg, right? It's not in the same vicinity of my skin, which is dark skin. I can't get darker because of sun. Or why is that even a comment or a thought when I'm talking about like my life? It's like you talking about ice cream and somebody's kind of like, well, um, I went to Japan, and or like I got a new car. Like ice cream and car is there's some correlation there. I'm starting to think that my mom might be like have ADHD or ADD because they seem to be like or something. But I don't want to like self-diagnose because she never had anything like that. If it's not that, it's narcissism. Because oh my god, she started to say that I'm manipulating her and twisting her words. I mean, she adverted. It's the same thing where she said that, and she knows. She's like, one moment she's like, yeah, it's true. I shouldn't talk about you, and I shouldn't have said what I said. But she said it, and then she's trying to say that, well, I didn't mean it like that. She's gaslighting me and telling me I'm manipulating her when it came out of her mouth. It's crazy. And then she goes on to trying to guilt trip me and say that, oh, you shouldn't speak about your mother like that because if something happens to me, it's kind of crazy. I was never like this to my mom and so on. I'm like, but you never lived with your mom. And according to news, you didn't have the best relationship. And she's like, but who said that? Who said that? I'm like, there are people in your own family that even talks about you not having a good relationship with your mom. And at this point, I'm not surprised because she didn't have a good relationship with her dad either. So it's like, maybe it's genetic. I don't know. So at this point, because the funny thing is, the spirit God has already like told me about this situation when it comes to my family, but I'm always here like maybe today, right? But it's really bad being a kid in your head about having hope when it's literally all your life. Okay. And the interesting is, I always get an apology when after I get called a manipulator, and after an argument, they're kind of like, fine, I'm sorry. That's the sorry I get. It's never, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Or it's the sorry I get when there's a third party involved and they're like, oh my God. Like, it's the type of people where it's like they don't see their faults unless it happens to them. And when I tell them what you just did is what this person did to you, and they are looking at me dead in the face like, how can you be such a manipulator? When you're treating me bad and you're telling me that something of this nature happened to you, because one thing about me, my memory and my receipts are on point. If they tell me about something, I keep it in stored, okay? I'm not saying that you have to be perfect, but If I were to tell you what you told me, and you told me, yes, this takes place, and this happened, and I said that, but what happened between us right now? Didn't you just do the same thing? They're looking at me like, I cannot believe you. Why can't they just admit to the fact that you are also incapable of hurting me like other people have hurt you? And this, it's sad. It really is sad because it's like you're talking to people that the connection is lost. It really is. And the interesting is, like, when everything was kind of Gucci before I even opened my mouth, because mind you, if I don't speak up, things will go as they are. And I'm sitting here with people degrading me, and I'm just taking it. But as soon as I stand up for myself, it's hell on earth. I'm a manipulator. I'm this. I'm that. Okay, I'm the death of somebody. If I were to die right now, they would be like, well, well. So me, I'm like, well, and well. Because it's all about, wow. It's really sad because I'm trying not to give a fuck, but it hurts. It really does hurt. And side note, if God tells you like these people are not your people, let them go. Blood is not thicker than water. And this is just what happened today. As you guys know, other videos where it's like there's scenarios where I just feel like, because mind you, the way I can twist this around in my own head, it's not really that deep. But if you don't want to apologize, when you don't want to admit, when you don't want to have a conversation, when you get called names, when there is no respect of boundaries, like what is left to do? Like for real, what is left to do? And the interesting part, like when she was on medication at one point because of her leg that she talks so much about, me advising her about this, she got offended and angry. And she stayed angry and no communication to be specific. Okay, as soon as there were guests arriving, as soon as a new chapter came in, or I got money, it is, hello, how are you doing? Can I be a mother again? It's exhausting. It really is. And I get this from both of my parents, but like it's more when I get it from my mom. And I'm not putting them to shame because I'm also thinking, if you don't know and you're thinking it's just you, but then they have kind of done the similar things around. Similar situations have happened with my siblings, not the favorite one, the quote unquote foster sibling, because they have never really lived with my mom at all. I guess it's not just me, but it's difficult because over the course of several years, as I'm the only one that lives in this city with my mom, I know culture wise, it's going to be a lot of blame on me, but I don't care. I don't care anymore because it's insane how one has to live like this. Like, it really doesn't make sense. The funny thing is, like, if you guys are, like, Black Americans, Black Canadians, Black Europeans, Africans, there was one time where it's like, I've had got comments about my skin. I'm not quite sure if it's in the same degree, but in another scenario, my mom, she said that I have my best friend is dark skin. The whole saying where it's like, racist people, they're like, and like if a white person is racist, they're like, oh, well, I have black friends. The colorism is deep, is rooted. And I'm thinking here, like, She cannot be serious. So the fact that she said that in the past, I don't know when the comment came out, but that was her like defense argument. Like, I have my best friend is dark skin like you. Knowingly, my mom is not even brown skin. She is dark skin like me, but the chemicals, the creams, right? I'm thinking you're like, now, in this present moment, when she said that, well, there is some sort of intention there, and it's not uh, of light. Okay. And I don't know if I mentioned this because I know I've been ranting a lot, but if I can't trust my own parents, who the fuck can I trust in the family or anyone? But specifically in the family, because at least 90% have done me some sort of wrongness, as she knows. It's difficult. It really is. Now, yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. Thank you for listening. And it's so funny. I remember a few, like during summer last year, I did a full on rant outside about this, but I took it down because it was so negative and I was like in my emotions. But I'm thinking of like, it's not good to bash other people. I'm trying to be the whole love thy neighbor as yourself and keep the peace. But today I'm kind of like, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, part two of this rant, I'm gonna keep it short. I'm also getting on top of all the bullshit that I just mentioned in clean detail. Uh, I get random phone calls from a specific phone caller, and I keep on blocking them. Right, and I'm thinking, okay, is call centers. I phone them up. They don't answer because as soon as they call me, they click on like the first hello. I go on my search bar and whatnot. This caller is not from a call center, okay? And the interesting thing is, they have also texted me. Now, I told them after I blocked them again, saying that if you continue contacting me, I am going to report you. And frankly, you don't have to do so when you're cutting out people. But yeah, I reported them, and if somehow they get to contact me again, I am going to report it to the police. Now you know it. If you're listening as well, because the interesting is that they called like a month before a little bit before my birthday, like a few weeks, and then because it's literally registered online when I search up when they call me. It is so interesting how they're calling me now, and I know why because I changed my profile picture. So there's that. So I have a stalker again. I actually, not to joke, had stalkers, and it's fucking scary. I had one during college, and this is why I never finished college because of that. Um, it was a whole fucking thing. College in Sweden, a full blown stalker. College abroad, someone sexually assaulted me. Um, like physically, okay? It wasn't even harassment. So I'm thinking school is not really up my territory, okay? So I'm thinking, okay, no more crazy people. Though I have dated a narcissist. I'm not quite sure if it's them, but according to the cards I shuffled, is somebody that wants to get intimate with me. So 9 times out of 10 is somebody that I have dated. And if they're acting crazy and they change their fucking number, God be my peace, because me getting the fucking calls to the random calls today and dealing with the shenanigans of my karmic miter is I'm up to here with the bullshit. I really am up to here with the bullshit. So that's everything. I'm gonna report. I have already actually have already reported you. Um and the next step is the authorities. I just have to fill some papers, and you know what? I never really say this, but if you guys want to, please pray for me. Please pray, and I'm gonna pray to. I don't know if it's in connection, but before the new moon in Aries, I was going through something where it's like I didn't think it was that deep. But my ancestors was and my spirit with angels, and they were feeling some type of way. They're like, "What the fuck is this?" Keep in mind, if you having a habit, you know, uh, whatever it is, habits are like things that you're addicted to. It's that simple. And it comes back. It's one thing to just be like, for me, balance is key. But if it's occupying your entire life, it's an issue. Okay? And if you know thyself and things come up and the timeline doesn't match up, for me, 100% is magic. So for that to take place and me to mitigate this by the grace of God and my spiritual team, and for this to be the razzle dazzle, just like a few weeks, a few days to weeks after, I'm kind of like, ooh, okay. I'm really on target mode today. So please pray for me because the energy has been doing the most, okay? I didn't think much of it, but after today, I'm trying to piece the pieces together here, okay?